So can anyone tell what is the difference between defect, error, bug, and failure? Any idea?
Yeah, defect is a fault in user requirement. And error is like a syntax error or like any logical error or anything like that.
Bug, what about that bug?
Bug is something which developer has to resolve.
And failure is?
When nothing is working.
Correct. So this is the difference. Like when defect is what? When there is a deviation from requirement, actual and expected. That's why we raise a defect. Like when we find that, when developer find that there is a deviation from actual and expected, and we file a defect. Error is usually what developers find while compiling the script. We also find the errors when we compile our test scripts, that automation test scripts, that there could be syntax error, runtime error, logical error, exceptional error. All those errors are when we are running our script and we get something in the console. That is an error. Okay. And bug is when the developer have accepted those defects, that is a bug. But I mean, defect and bug are mostly similar. Okay, so that's why we call it bug life cycle or defect life cycle. So these two are like almost like same, but if there are interviews who may ask you that what is the difference between defect and bug. So this is the only difference, that when developer accept the defect, that will become a bug, and then they try to fix that bug. Okay, otherwise they can reject that defect, or they can reject that defect. As I told you, that there could be a duplicate defect, or there could be a deferred defect. Okay, that time it is they are not gonna address those defects, and they are like a in other status, like as I've told you, it could be rejected, or it could be deferred, or it could be duplicate. Okay, failure is something like we cannot even test the application, we cannot even follow the instructions, we are getting some page error. That time we cannot even, while doing the login, we are getting some page error, or we are not able to find the link, and all those things are like failure when we are not able to proceed with our testing. Okay, so that is a failure of the application. Okay, any doubts in this? Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the moving ahead to the to today's topic is defect and its type, as we have done with the defects, but in defect there are so many types, and there are priorities and severities. What is the difference between priority defect, severity defect, that we will learn today. Different loops, like for loop, while loop, all those things we will cover. I think we'll cover this much only today, because many of are not present, and okay, so this much only we'll cover. Rest we'll cover in the next class. Okay. So what are defects and its types? There are different types of defects, like critical, major, minor, trivial. What is critical defect? Anyone?
Which needs to be resolved like straight away, which has a very high priority. Yeah.
Correct. So those defects which have like high priority defects that should be resolved immediately. So that is a critical defect, which is without which, like failure of your application, that needs to be resolved immediately, because it is a blocker for the tester to go ahead with the application and test it. So that is a core functionality which is missing and can be and should be resolved immediately. That is called as critical defect. The next is major defect. In major defect, there are the main functionality which is not working and it is crashing down the whole system. So that is major. Okay, minor is when bugs that do not have any much impact on the system functionality and they are not affecting the workflow, but that could be a negative impact to the user experience. So that is a minor bug. Trivial is like a issue that are not related to the system functionality and they could be skipped also, but if it is resolved, it will be good for the user experience. Okay, so that is like spelling mistake or something like that, small defects. So in terms of business purpose, defect can be classified into like when we are giving any defect in the Jira board, that time critical, major, minor, trivial is not available. It is like a high, medium and low priority issues are there. High, medium, low priorities or severities issues are there. And defects with high priority should be fixed at first and they affect the business needs. That's why high priority defects should be resolved as soon as possible. Okay. Clear, everyone? Any doubt in this?
Yes, Toy. No issues.
Yeah, no.
Okay, now comes the priority and severity. So priority is the defect which is defined as the order in which a defect should be fixed. Okay, so higher the priority, the sooner the defect should be resolved. Like priority is what in a priority is telling you the scheduling of the defect, like how soon that defect should be resolved. Okay, so as soon as you get that P1 defect, it is saying that it should be it is a P1 defect, then it should be resolved as soon as possible because it's at high priority. Okay. If it is a low priority, the defect is at it's not a very it's not very much severe defect. It could be like resolved in 2 or 3 days, but as the bugs as the tester has filed that defect, so it should be resolved. Okay, so that is like a low priority and it could be not much serious, and once you get a time, that time you can resolve that defect. Medium is during the normal course of development activity, a defect should be resolved, and it can be wait until the new version. New version means what? Anyone know that? What is new version? What is new version? Like,
yeah, like in Agile, you have like a sprint of 15 days. So in the next cycle, probably.
Correct. So new version means a new build. When you give few defects and the tester is resolving and fixing those defects, and they give you the new set of new build, which is having all the defects resolved. So that is called a new build. Okay, sometimes medium defects you can wait for the new build. Otherwise, if it is a high priority defect, you just reject the build, and then first they have to resolve all those high priority defects, and then only you will accept that build. Okay, accept that version of the application so that you can continue with your testing. Okay, so sometimes interviewer asks you what time you will reject that build. If you get a build from the developer, what time you will reject those builds. So the answer is like when you have a high priority defects and the time like you cannot able to log in into the system, that time you can reject your build, and as it is not working as per your expectation, you can straight away reject the build and tell them to resolve these issues, and then only we will start our testing. So that type of testing is called what? Anyone know? When you accept the build.
Stress.
No, stress testing is different. Stress testing is
Yeah.
like non-functional testing. That will be done at the end of the project. Stress testing is totally depend on the.
Oh, it's smoke testing, is it?
Yes, yes. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
smoke testing. When you accept the build, after checking that main functionality is working or not. If your application is breaking, or when you are testing some module which is not working in that particular build, so you can straight away reject the build. So that testing is called smoke testing. Smoke testing is for accepting that build and start your regression testing. Okay, so it's a green signal for like starting your regression testing. Okay, so if smoke testing is passed, then you can accept the build and start your regression testing. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
You both of you, huh? Okay, so that is called as all the priorities, the high priorities I have explained to you. Like if it is much of the it's severe defect, you can reject that build and you can fix it first, and then you accept that build. Okay, so those are 3 priorities level. Now comes the severity. Severity is the degree of impact that a defect has on the application or the product. Okay, degree of impact, like suppose you have raised a severity high defect, that means how much time it will take to resolve that defect. Okay, so severity indicates the seriousness of the defect on the product functionality. Okay, critical defects are what? Critical critical severity. That means the defect indicates complete shutdown of the process and nothing can proceed further. Okay, so severity means like it is, if it is critical, that means nothing is working. Major means it is a high severe defect and collapse the system. However, certain parts of system are functional. Okay, so that is a major defect. Next is medium. That means it caused some undesirable behavior, but the system is still functional. Okay, and low it won't be any major background in the application. Okay, so these are the priority examples and severity examples. Now we will learn that what is the difference between these two. So with this explanation, can you tell what is the difference between priority and severity? Anyone?
Priority indicates the timeline, whereas severity indicates like how you know, like how it is affecting the whole system.
Correct, correct. So priority tells you that how soon the defect should be resolved, while the severity tells that the how much time or how much functionality it is breaking and how much time it will take to resolve that defect. Okay. Priority just indicates that this should be resolved immediately, or it should take some time, or if it is high priority it will take some time. No, sorry, if it is low priority it will take some time, and if it is high priority it should resolve within 1 hour or within 2 hours or within like a particular time frame. Okay. So priority is associated with scheduling, while the severity is associated with the functionality, like how long it will take to resolve this issue. So that is severity. Or how much complicated it is to resolve that issue functionality wise. So that is priority. High priority and low severity status indicates the defect have to be fixed on immediate basis or not. Okay. While the high severity and low priority indicates that the defect is to be fixed, but not in the immediate basis. Okay. We will learn more about this because this is really important interview question. Priority status is based on the customer requirement, while the severity status based on the technical aspect of the product. Okay. So priority status is what? Like customer requirement. Like customer wants this as soon as possible, then it will be high priority. Okay. Otherwise, it will be low priority. While severity is based on the technical aspect. So if customer is saying that, I want to resolve it immediately, but the severity is high. I mean, severity is high means it will take time to resolve that issue. Then you cannot just ask the customer that we will give it to you in next 1 hour. No, it will take time to because there are technical aspects, there are so many things involved in that particular defect, so we need time for resolving that. Okay, so severity will be taken care of the technical aspect, like how much time it will take to resolve this defect. If it is a very difficult defect, or it might take more functionality, then it will take time to resolve it. But if it is high priority, that should be resolved immediately. Okay. Now coming to this part, like, can you tell some high priority and low severity example? This is a very important interview question. Like, what is the example of? I asked high priority and low severity, right? So can anyone tell what is the
Say the
example?
font of a website is not correct. You can
Correct.
see the text properly, but it's not coming in the right font.
Correct. So that is why that could be a high priority and low severity, like font size or logo size, or maybe the spelling of the, spelling of the logo, which is impacting too much. Like as a user experience, it is impacting, but as functionality wise, it is nothing. Like it will take it will take less time to resolve that defect, but it is impacting the user experience. Like if logo is not correct, it will be like it is not a good experience for the user who is using that application. So that's why it is a low severity, but it is a high priority issue that should be resolved immediately as per user experience. Okay. Now comes the what is high severity and low priority example. Can anyone tell what is high severity and low priority? High severity means like and low priority. Low priority means it could be resolved in later point of time also. But high severity, like sometimes in a credit, suppose credit card, everything is working fine, but a major functionality or a major thing that is missing in that, but nobody used that functionality. Okay, like suppose it is giving some um, or you can take the example of flight operation website, okay, in which there are some functionality which nobody is using or nobody is bothered about, and it is not working. But it is like, if you resolve that, it will take some time to resolve it. And it's low priority. Why? Because it is not much in use currently. So we can make it like in the later point of time also. So that is like a deferred defect. Deferred defect kya hota hai? We will resolve it later point of time, because right now we are not in a hurry to resolve it. So that is called as high severity, because it will take time to fix that defect, but it is like low priority. Why? Because right now we are not required that particular functionality. Later point of time, we will see that whether we can give that facility to the user or not. Am I clear or not? I can explain again also if you're not clear with that.
It's fine.
Yeah, because this is really important interview question. So you should know that. And also that they will ask you about that non-critical, urgent, and all those things. Like if it is urgent and critical, it is a key function, key feature which is not working. If it is not critical and urgent, that means like company logo is wrong or something like that, or spelling mistake or very small issues. Low priority and high severity means feature that is rarely used and it is not working. Okay, so that's why it is a low priority, but it is a critical severity. Why? Because it takes time to resolve that feature. Okay, so it will be like high severity. Again, low priority and low severity means the caption on an image is written in the wrong font, or something like font size is not working, or something very which is not in use also, and it is not showing properly. So that is low critical severity and low priority. Clear, everyone? Any doubt
Who
in this?
decides this? Who decides this? Do we, or does the developer decide the?
No, all these, what the defect that decided by the tester. All these things like defect related things is decided by the tester. And if the tester has any doubt in giving the priority, they can ask the lead that I think this is a high priority issue. Then that time you can discuss with your lead or the manager and give that defect to a priority rise. Otherwise, if tester is thinking that it's a medium priority and medium severity, go ahead with that. Okay, so that is decided by the tester.
Sure.
And if there is any, if developers thinks that it will take time, it cannot be a P1 defect, it will take time to resolve that, then developer may ask to the tester that can you please make it P2, because it cannot be resolved within 2 hours. Because if it is a P1 defect, it should be resolved within like a time frame. And if that is not possible due to some circumstances, then it will be like a P2 defect. And they can ask for it to the tester. And tester has all the responsibility to change that particular priorities. Only tester can change it, but developer may ask for the request that can you make it P, and then we will have a discussion with the leads also, that can we make it P2. So if you are agreed, you can make this P2. So it all depends on your discussion with the developers and testers. Clear? Any doubt, any more doubt in this?
No, it's clear now.
Yes, sir. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll come to the loops. Loops, like there are few types of loop, which is like for loop. This is a statement, if else statement. Then while loop and do while loop. Okay. So these are all the loops which I mean, these are all the, you can say, these statements and the loops which helps us to do the programming easier. Okay. So like for loop, the syntax of the for loop is what? For, then the initial expression, we test the expression and we update the expression. If this test expression is true, then only we can enter into the body. Okay. For more clarification, like we can see the flow chart. Initial expression is what? When we assign some value to the variable. Okay, suppose I is equals to 10. Then we will test that. If I is greater than 100, then only it will enter into the loop. So I have given I is value as 10. Then it will be not greater than 100, so it will not enter into the loop. Okay, so we'll just check that initial expression and the value which is given to the variable, we test it, and if it is true, then only it will enter into the loop and enter into the body of that loop, and then perform whatever whatever action it is taking care. Okay, if it is not, if it is false, it will come out of that loop, terminate that loop. Okay, and it will continue as much time as the test condition is true. Okay, so it will continue till the time the test expression or the what you can say, the whatever thing we are testing, and that is making it true, that time it will be entering into the loop. We will be taking the example slide, so it will be more clear for you. Okay, so this is one example. So this is suppose a main class. Okay, inside that we have given this value of variable n equal to 5. Okay, now we are taking the for loop. For loop is like I equal to 1, which is an initial expression. Then I is less than equal to n I plus plus. We are updating that. Okay, so now tell me, and once we are entering to the loop, the system is printing this statement. Okay, so now n equal to 5, we are initializing n equal to I equal to 1 and I less than equal to n. Okay, so that means this is the value of 1, and it will be continue till I value is reaching to less than or equal to 5. So how many times this statement will be printed? Can
5.
anyone tell?
5 times.
5 times. Correct. It will, first time it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we'll check this in the Eclipse. Okay. We'll just run this program and then we will check that how many times it will be printed and how it is working. Pramila, are you getting what we are discussing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have created one batch, right? Batch 9. So here only I will add the Java programs. I will create one for loop. Okay, I'll create one class here, naming for, include the main method, finish it. Okay. So suppose I have written integer n equal to 5. Okay. 5. Then for what I will write? I integer I equal to 1. I less than equal to 5. And this is updating the expression, which is I plus plus. Okay. Then I'm entering into the loop. It is telling so. Like hello, or anything you can add. So you are telling that it will be run 5 times. Okay, so we'll just check. So it is exactly 5 times it will be printing this hello. Okay. So everyone clear that why it is 5 times? First time it is 1, second time it is 2, I is incremented to 2. Yes, so this is the incrementation sign. So it will be 2, then it will be 3, 4, and then 5. So once it comes to 5, I is 5, then this is equal to, this is also a true expression. Okay. Once it is gone to 6, it will come out of the loop and end the loop. So it will be ended here. Clear? Now coming to the if-else statement. Okay. So everyone clear with this? Pramila and Neha? Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
No.
So
Yeah.
if it is 0, if I start with I equal to 0, then how many times it will be printed?
I is less than equal to 6 times then.
6 times. Why? Because one more expression 0 is added here. So it will be 0 to 5. Okay, so it will be printed 6 times. Correct. Okay. Okay. So we'll move to the next statement, which is if statement. If statement is the condition in which there could be like true or false. There are only two things, whether it is a true or it is a false. So there are various if statement, like if statement, if else statement, if else, if ladder, and nested if statement. Okay. So first we'll go with the if statement. So in if statement, we are just testing the condition. If it is true, then it will enter into the if block, and if it is false, it will come out of the if block. Okay. So easy. There is one program which is demonstrate the if statement. Like if it is like simple, if age is equal to 20, you have given age equal to 20. If age is greater than 18, then only it will enter into that loop. Okay. And it will print that statement. So we'll just check in this. Okay. Program if we will add the main method finish. Okay. So integer age equal to 20. Okay. What was that expression? If age is greater than 18, it will enter into that loop and it will print something. Okay, whatever is there. So it is printing. If it is greater than 40 will it print?
Yeah.
Is it printing? Check. It is not printing. Why? Because age value is 20 only, no? So 20 is not greater than 40. This is not true statement. So it will not print. Are you getting my point? Like if age is
Okay, yeah, got it.
greater, yeah. So 20, if I write 20 here, this statement is false, right? So it will not print. So age value is, so what we have to do for that, it should not be a good practice to
Else.
have a, correct. So we will have an else statement. Else, we will print something else. Okay, so we'll print whatever we wanted to write, like uh, less age or something like that. Okay, then only it will print. Okay, so always we should, always we should give an else statement also if you are not accepting the, if it is not having the correct value of that particular statement, then there should be an else statement so that it is something we should get in the console. Okay, so that's why we have introduced else statement. So if it is true, it will go to the if block, and if it is false, it will come to the else block, and after that it will come out the if statement. Clear? We'll have one example also here. So if suppose there is a program for even and odd number. Okay. So anyone know what is if percent, like number percentage 2 equal to 0? What is the meaning of this?
That means if it's divided by 2, then the remainder is 0.
Correct. So the remainder part. So percentage indicates the remainder part. Okay. So if the remainder is 0, then it will be an even number. If there else, it will be the odd number, because there is no other option. Either a number could be even or an odd. Okay. So this is the easy way of telling, but there is one ternary example also. There is, what is ternary? Sometimes, in your written test, they ask you these type of expression in if statement. Okay, so there is some output which you store it in the string, and which tells you that question mark means if it is true, it will print the first thing. Colon means else, it will print the other thing. Okay, we'll check that in the we'll check in the Eclipse that how it is written. So suppose,
What was the question mark? Sorry, question mark for?
So the question mark is if statement. It is like automatically said that because it's a ternary example of if else statement, that will give you like question mark is if it is true. Okay, so suppose if it is true, this expression is true, then it will print this one, which is after the question mark, which is a true thing. Okay, if it is false, it will go to the else part. Okay, we'll check in the Eclipse, and then it will be more clear for you. Okay, don't worry. So suppose I've given age 20, but I don't want to write these many of these are the, like, suppose some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of code. I don't want to write 8 lines of code. Instead of, I just wanted to write one line of code in which I'm storing a variable. Suppose this is a variable in which I'm storing like one expression, like this is the expression which I wanted to tell that age is greater than 18. Okay, if age is greater than 18, question mark, print this either whatever you can print, okay, related to that, like adult, else it will be like a
Minor.
minor. Okay, anything you can write it, and then what you have to do, you have to print that output also. Okay, for that what you have to do, you have to print this output. Whatever you are printing, it will be storing into this string value, and you are putting it into the output. Like you have to print it, right? You have to print it somewhere, something. So that is the output variable, which whatever is stored, either it is stored adult or it is stored minor, it will print it. Okay, so we'll just execute it. So here it is adult. Why? Because it is an
Greater than 18.
correct. So age is greater than 18. So if it is like 4, 5, anything, what it will print?
Minor.
Minor. Okay. So it is printing minor. So this is an if, as we have not written if, we have not written else, but this is the as I told you, it is a ternary example. This is a ternary operator, you can say. Okay, so these are the ternary operator which is used for only if else, nothing else. Okay, if you say that for only if it will work, it will not work. Okay, it will not work for this. It will give you the error. Only for if else it will work. Okay, clear everyone? So this
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you. Next is if else if ladder. Okay, so if else if ladder means there could be multiple conditions, and there could be, we can test more than one condition, and then we give the output for that. Okay, so if else if ladder statement executes one condition from multiple conditions. So once we test this condition, else this condition, else this condition, or else the last thing. Okay, so we'll just see this in the flow chart. Suppose this condition is true, it will go to the first statement. If it is false, it will check the next condition. If that condition is true, it will go to the statement number 2. If this is false, it will go to this another condition, and so on and so forth. Okay. Example for the grading system. When we have a student grading system, that time it is required, like we have a grade A plus, A, B, C, D, or fail. Okay, so so suppose we have an if else if example in which we have a marks of 65. Okay, and if marks is less than 50, it will be fail. Else between these two, it will be like D grade and so on. Okay, so can you try this in your home, like by yourself? Like these are very simple example. Can you try it? So should I give it the assignment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you try this, and also there is one more assignment which is like a program. Write a program to check the positive, negative, and 0. Okay, so that also you can try it at your own. Okay. So any doubt in this? Clear, right? These are all the conditions which, if it is true, it will print this, else it will go to this condition and it will print this, and so on. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So shall we try the exact same code for this one and then another one for positive, negative, and 0?
Yeah. Similar code, like use your logic to what is for positive, what is the condition you have to write.
Yeah, if
It
the
will-
number is less than
Yeah.
0, then negative is
Correct.
greater than 0, then
Correct.
positive, otherwise
Yes.
0.
Yes. So you can try that program. If it is, if you stuck anywhere, I'm there to help you, right?
Sure.
Okay. Just try this program with your own, and if you find anything, but try it, no, it will like practice your every program, whichever is I have given to you, just try it so that you have a good practice of all these things.
Yeah,
It will
sure.
help you. Yeah. Okay. Then comes the nested if. In nested if, we have a multiple conditions, like we are testing if this condition is true and this condition is true, then only it will go to the inside the if statement. Okay, so nested if is represent if block within another if block. Here's the inner if block condition execute only when this outer and inner both are true, then only it will enter into that if block. Okay, so this is the first condition. If it is true, then it will check the next if condition, and if it is true, then only it will come to the inside the if block. If any one of is false, it will come out of the loop. Okay, so example, it will be more clear. So something like you want to donate the blood. Okay, so there could be two conditions. Okay, your age should be greater than 18 and your weight should be greater than 50. Then only you can eligible for donating the blood. So this is also simple example that if age is greater than 18 or if weight is greater than 50, then only you can donate. Clear? So this is a
Sorry, what is
multiple.
the difference between if else if and if else?
This is like a multiple condition you are giving. Okay, one by one you are giving. If first is true, then it will enter into the second if condition. If second if condition is true, then only you will able to enter into the code to execute it. Okay, clear everyone?
No, actually, it will check the first condition. If it's true,
Correct.
then it will check the second condition if it's true,
Correct.
and then third, and then so on.
Yes. Mostly it is like two if condition only, not more than that, because
Okay.
then it is like a then you can have the operator like this and.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I'm getting doubt. Shall we use it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also is possible that
Yeah.
you can.
In one condition, we can use it, right?
Yeah, if one condition, then it is fine. Otherwise, you can use like operator, that and operator. But sometimes, there are few things which you wanted to execute only after this condition. So that also you can do. Like if this is true, there are few codes which you can execute. After that, you wanted to have another condition, another condition, and then only you wanted to execute few codes. So for that, there is one if nested if condition. Like nested if is means you can have multiple condition in one loop, then only you can enter into the nested if block. Okay, so this code of execution can only possible when these two statements are true, and this code of execution can be possible when only this condition is true. Okay, so if that is your requirement, then you can use this type of if statement. Clear? It all depends on your programming, how you wanted to execute it, and at that time of problem, whatever solution you are uh, trying to find out. Okay, but you should know that this could be possible. Okay, so that's why we are learning these things, that whenever the circumstances come, you should able to perform your programming task. Okay, clear everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just try this program also and by your own. If you have any doubt, we can discuss this in the next class. No problem. Okay. Now coming to the while loop. What is while loop? Do you have any idea, like while and do while? There are two types of while loops. While loop is what? First we check the condition, like whether the condition is true or false. Then only we'll enter into the loop. Like suppose integer I is equals to 0. If I is less than 5, then only we enter into the loop and print that I, and we increment it here. Okay, so how many times we'll print the I? Can anyone tell? How many times it will be printing I value?
5,
5, because it is starting from
Yes.
0.
0, yeah.
Okay. So we'll just check in the while example. While example. Okay. So suppose the integer I equal to 5. Okay. And while we have to check I is less than 0. Okay. I is less than 0. Then we'll have a printout statement.
I
What
think
we
we
will
wrote the
print?
conditions opposite.
I less than 5. Okay. Yeah, correct. Good observation. Okay. I plus plus. Okay, so that means first it will be 0. I value is 0. Then it will increment here by 1. So 0 is printed in this line. After that it is incremented. Then it will be
1, 2, 3, 4.
Correct. 2, 3, and then 4. And once it is 5, it will be end. Okay.
Yeah, but it will not print 5.
No, it will not print 5. No, it will not print 5. Why? Because we have not given equal to. If we give equal to, it will print 5.
Yeah.
Correct. So this is how it will be work. So this is while loop, example of while loop. What is do while loop? Anyone know like what is do while loop? In do while loop, we execute the code first and then we check the condition. So in do while loop, at least one time this code will be executed, even the condition is false. Okay. So I'll just give you the example. Suppose this condition will come at the end. And here we coming as do. Okay. So this is the condition. So if this condition is false, suppose 8. Okay, so 8 is less than 5, which is this is a false condition, right? This is a false condition, right? But still, this will print at least 8. Okay. See, it is printing 8. Why? Because this is executing once and then it will check the condition. And if the condition is false, it will not enter into it. But it will execute at least once. Okay, so this is the difference between while and do while. That in that while, if the condition is false, it will not enter into the loop. But in do while, it will check first it will execute and then check the condition. Okay, so this loop will execute the code block once before checking the condition is true or not. So this is that This is the difference between while and do while. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So these are all about the loops. So just practice these things, and I will stop here only because this is little bit complicated, and if you wanted to like just practice this, then we will